This was really looked at as a civil rights issue, that it is wrong to take a group of people and define them by their disability and then tell them where they have to live. And that was regarded in many states, Michigan perhaps most notably, very early on. The really striking thing is that in Illinois, it wasn't discussed as a civil rights issue. I mean, one way of thinking of it is that Illinois conditions the receipt of developmental disability services on someone's willingness to surrender freedoms and to go into a large setting. Yeah, I mean, Illinois is one of the most institutionalized states in the country. Why do you live at Riverside? Why do you think?
Because the state put me here.
David, how long have you been asking to live in your own home, I think?
About 15 years.
Set the bread out there. Jenny, what would you like to drink? We got some lemonade, some iced tea, and milk, and...
Her eyes were kind of glazed over, just like she wasn't really there the whole first year. But by the time she turned 1, all of a sudden there started to be a spark. And her favorite words were more and yes and no.
Yeah.
Jamie was born in the very hot month of July of 1983 by cesarean section because of lack of oxygen. He went through public schools, IEPs. I've always been, of course, his biggest advocate.
It wasn't until she got older that we began to seek out state programs that would assist her with her getting out of, her family home and getting into her home.
When Jamie's dad passed away, I had the option of moving Jamie up onto a list to be placed. And I opted out of that because it would be in a large setting. And that's not what we wanted.
And what really irked me was the fact that they come back and said, we have an institutional opportunity if you'd like to put her there.
We were told that was all there was.
And we said no.
I was reviewing the records of a man who lived in an ICFDD. One of the obstacles to his moving out into the community was that he didn't know how to iron his own shirts. If that was the standard, almost no one at Equip for Equality could live in the community.
We would like the individuals with disabilities to have the choice to live in a setting that's most appropriate to them.
We pulled in some of our partners, Access Living and the ACLU. We felt like the thing to do would be to bring one or more lawsuits that would attempt to really transform services for people across disabilities.
I wanted to take on something that would have the possibility of being groundbreaking.
We all have very limited resources and would never be able to do these lawsuits without being able to pull in the private bar. We were extraordinarily fortunate that S&R Denton stood up at the plate and agreed that they would handle this case on a pro bono basis.
A major class action lawsuit was filed in U.S. District Court today, demanding more community options for people with developmental disabilities. Sonnenschein, Nath, and Rosenthal are providing legal services representing several named plaintiffs in the case called Ligas versus Merrim.
I want you to career job, real job, like fixing cars, or fixing a radio or stereo. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have freedom at Sheltered Village?
No.
Everybody goes and does everything together. Everybody comes back, does everything together. Very regimented, kind of not really military style, but ordering that feel.
Here we are, right here.
when they get ready to go out. Everybody sits on a couch kind of in a square until the staff is ready to get them to going, and then they all file out together. It's not any sort of individualization, and if you don't want to go bowling, too bad, you're going bowling.
You have these 1,000 people, and they all have to be treated the same way. And I don't think that's right. Each one of us has a different way of looking at things, how we think, what we want to do, what we want to experience, what we want to eat.
There's a type of almost learned helplessness. They're dependent upon others to constantly tell them what to do and when to do it because that's their life experience.
How long have you lived here?
18 years. September 2nd.
For him to stand up and be the lead plaintiff in this case and be willing to do that for literally 7 years so that not only he, but everyone else with a developmental disability living in these facilities, 6,000 people, would have a choice that they've been denied, I think that's pretty remarkable.
It's what we fought for, a very long time.
I mean, they were very motivated participants in this litigation and were solidly behind this for the long haul, never wavered.
Their testimony was very moving, and I'm sure many people in the audience were just dumbfounded about how some of these individuals ended up in institutions, not only initially, but for so many years.
October of 2008, we had received a preliminary approval of a class action treatment, and we thought the court was on board with that. We had a tentative settlement with the state of Illinois that would implement a lot of changes. Unfortunately, however, that met with a lot of objections.
There were hundreds of people in this courtroom that were all ready to say, you can't do this, you can't just tell these people that they're going to go to Acilla. And of course, that wasn't the case at all, but I think a lot of people didn't understand the whole lawsuit.
We thought that the first consent decree would offer people informed choice about the services, that they would say, here is what Acilla looks like, here is what services we can provide. Now choose what you want for your loved one.
That was a tough day because then we had to go back to the drawing board and recast our message without giving up our goals.
Did you get discouraged ever?
I get nervous once in a while because this I've been waiting for 18 years now.
That was the summer of 2009. We worked hard for another almost 2 years until we got to a date in June of this year, 2011, where the court put final approval on our settlement.
How did you feel that day?
That is very happy for me. The one to do and then sick, that is so cool.
Oh, when he hammered his...
Yeah, just agree. I like that. That was so happy. I know I won.
I am very, very happy that things have turned out this way, and not only for me or my son, but for the thousands of people with disabilities that deserve better than what they get.
There's a ton of work to be done, but the tide has changed.
It's over, it's done. She's going to get her services. That was nice to hear.
Yeah.
That was really nice to hear because now she has an opportunity to make a choice.
Yeah.
Freedom is very, very nice.
Hey, David.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Me too.
I'm Sam Tuno, director of the Clerk program.
You do, Sam.
Pleasure to meet you.
Me too.
Would you like a tour of the house?
Sure.